This is akathecoot with a Minecraft guide to a humble beginning. This guide is intended for people who are just starting out in Minecraft in survival mode and want to know how to start out and successfully make it through the first night. In this video I'll be fast forwarding through some of the slower parts, so you'll see that often, but right now I'm heading up a hill to try and scout the area and see where I want to build at the beginning of how I'll survive the night. When you get to the top of the hill, you're going to want to look around and see if there's any resources out there that you want to use. I try to avoid water so much. It may look good, but it's not as useful as something like, say, lava, or if you have a mountain, you can dig directly into the mountain instead of having to dig down. But in this circumstance, because of the fact that I'm using a server that I'm running and playing the game on my computer that's running that server, the rendering is terrible. So I just basically pick the bottom of this mountain and rush to whatever spot I can find. End up doing exactly what I told everyone not to and picking a place right next to the water. Once you find the place that you're looking for, this place is where I chose obviously, you start digging out a little area where you're going to have your house, or in my case it's more of like a mining shack. You're going to want to get some wood, that way you can start building the simple tools that you'll be using in the beginning to help yourself clear things, because as you can see, clearing it with your hands is not exactly the best thing in the world. Later on in the game, you'll definitely wish you had fast forward, but even still, when you get to the diamond set of tools, it makes these things just as this fast. You'll notice I kind of hammer through the leaves a little bit here. It's because if you get all the wood, the leaves will slowly fall apart on their own and take away the possibility of a spider, say, crawling on top of that and landing on top of your house. Once you have the wood, you're going to want to not do what I do and correctly make wood planks first before you try and make anything else. Once you make the wood planks, you're going to want to immediately build a crafting table. That'll be where most of the magic happens for sure. I then make some sticks, because sticks are what you use in every form of tool that you'll be making from here on out. Turns out you need a handle for those kind of things. So, with the sticks and the wood that we've gotten, I make a few separate tools, some pickaxes, a few shovels. I make a regular axe. All of these things correspond to their type of thing you're trying to mine. And now that this is done, I make the axe that I forgot to make and clear out a little more of the area. I try to leave myself a decent amount of room for the first place that I'm going to be. You're going to be spending a little bit of time in there. You're going to want to make it so it's at least a little comfortable. Here I have to get more wood out of the deal, just based on the fact that I want to build a house that's made out of wood and not made out of mud. Nobody wants to live in a mud hut. And of course, harass the local animals. Those pigs are a lot more evil than they seem, I promise. And since the wood turns into more wood planks, 4 per piece of wood, I'll have plenty of wood to make the standard square house that will be helping me survive the night. Because once the night comes, that's when all the monsters start coming out, and trust you me, you will eventually end up running into a creeper. That creeper will then blow you up and destroy hours of work. It's one of the joys of the game. Once you're done, hopefully you were smart enough to leave yourself enough room for a door. Turns out doors are useful. Here I am showing off the amazing ability of door to open and close. It's quality craftsmanship right there. Take a look at my house and then realize I'm going to be going underground in a minute, because that's the next step that I always take. So I try to get a little extra wood so I can make some tools that'll make going underground a lot simpler. You're going to want to bring a little extra tools based on the fact that they do break over time, and you're going to be digging to go and get cobble, which could either happen right away, which happens in this video. I think I dig 3 blocks down and immediately find that, or it could take a while. It's one of the joys of Minecraft. You never know what you're going to find and when you're going to find it. So I prep up, get a bunch more pickaxes, and begin to start what is going to be my basement after I check and see what time of day it is. So to recap, so far we've scouted for an area to go and cleared out some land, built a house, that way we can be protected from outside, and begin to try and find some cobble. Here you can see I get pretty lucky, but it ends up coming around because I have a little troubles finding coal. But once you get to the cobblestone area, you can obviously mine that and turn that cobblestone into much better items for digging with. The better the item you dig with as far as the quality of material, the faster it gets through those materials that you're trying to mine. So as you can see, I go up here and use the same pattern, or excuse me, I make a furnace. Furnace is excellent because it uses coal to cook things. You can use it to smelt other types of ore that you'll be getting, such as iron and diamonds. It's also used for cooking food. I use it to make glass, just to make things look a little better, let light into your house, all sorts of different things. There's tons of avenues for finding out the recipes for things if you don't want to do them on their own. There's a Minecraft wiki which literally will tell you everything. But I then begin to dig in the dark for a while here. I'm attempting to find coal. Coal is usually a little lower than cobble. I know a lot of people just try to find a mountainside. They take that mountainside and they basically just look for a place where it has a hole in the mountainside and try and find coal out in the open. That's a pretty straightforward way to do things, but since I'm going to be going down anyways, I begin to dig what I'm going to eventually make into my primary mine shaft. This is what it looks like when it's dark outside. It's kind of a bad example. I tell you monsters are going to come and they don't immediately, but if you look in the distance here, you can definitely see a creeper over there. And if there's one, that definitely means there's a bunch. And just to back that up, as I'm downstairs for a few seconds, the first thing I hear is a zombie trying to break down the door. You can block the door off with cobble like I did and make a little barrier, which is really helpful because those zombies can and will eventually break through your door. And then they'll come in there and get you, and they're kind of a pain to kill if you don't have a sword handy. I didn't make a sword at this point, so I keep digging. Apologize for how dark the video is. You'll see why coal is so important at some point, but basically what I'm doing now is just digging around, digging down, digging over left and right, horizontally and vertically, and trying to eventually get to a point where I can find some coal. Like I said earlier, I have a terrible time finding coal, and I dig and dig and dig. I think it takes me 10 to 15 minutes to actually find it, but that's one of the better parts of the game. When you do find stuff, they make you work a little bit for it, so when you finally get it, it's a good feeling. Nothing's like running into diamond. Here you can barely see, but I do find coal. I find a pretty good vein of it. Obviously, I go for every bit of the coal that is there available to me. You're going to want to get this because you will always be using it. You'll be constantly smelting things and or cooking some sort of food. You do have to eat in this game. You can see the 2 meters on the bottom that are how much food you have in you, I guess you could say, and how much health you have. And put the coal on top of the sticks, and you can make some torches. I carry torches on me all the time. There's never a time where I don't have torches. They are the most helpful thing in the game for going down and digging in the ground. I know there's different types of torches in the game, but for the most part, all I do is use coal to make those kind of torches. It's pretty straightforward. Here you can see before I put down the torch, I get the rest of the coal, and finally, let there be light. It's a video again. At this point, I've lit up the room. I got the basis for what's going to be what I do to mine. I like to square away things and make them a little more livable. You don't want to end up getting lost. And then I start putting torches on the way up. The reason that you do this is because I know monsters do and will spawn in the darkness. I'm not sure what the dimensions are exactly for them spawning in the darkness, but I try to avoid it at all just by putting up as many torches as I can. Here you can't hear it, but in the background there is a zombie beating on the door, so I decide that if he's willing to beat on my door that long, he's definitely willing to die for it. I suit up here with a couple swords just in case, you never know. And then I go to bust down the door to kill me a zombie, and it's daytime. The zombie's already dead, so I go outside expecting nothing, and BAM! Get attacked by a spider. How about that? Those guys are all over the place. They're a pain in the ass. Always close your doors. Zombies will come into your house, and it will not be fun when you come home to a bunch of zombies. I don't think they tend to go in there if you're not there, but either way, doors closed is a very important thing. I torch around my house for the same reasons I torch going up the stairs, to avoid monsters spawning in that area, and then I run into a guy that survived the sun somehow, probably because he's underneath a tree. But either way, he needed to die. So I happily obliged him. And since you have all this extra stuff, I had a couple extra wood planks, I make a chest. That's the pattern for the chest, and if you make 2 of them, what you can do is lay down one chest and then lay down the other directly next to it, and that will make a larger size chest. I'm sure everyone can imagine what a large chest does compared to a small chest. You're going to be storing lots of stuff, and eventually you'll probably have a giant storage room, but for the time being, this is a good place to drop all your cobble, drop all the things that you're not using immediately, such as the wood tools that you no longer have a direct use for. And I keep the dirt in this case for something I'll show you in a second here, but other than that, everything else can pretty much go. Having an open inventory is a good thing. You're going to be getting a lot of stuff throughout this game, and when you're building large structures, you need massive amounts of cobble. You can see the cobble I have now is probably only good for the very, very bare foundation of a house, but then restock yourself with all the things you think you need, and head back up. Now we are going to show you what I call a beacon. I believe everybody calls it a beacon actually, but I go a little ways away from my house and I attempt to get at least 2 full stacks of sand. That's 64, or dirt. That's 2 full stacks of 64 apiece, and you're going to need every single one of those. Get your dirt ready, and then what you're going to do is look directly down from the dirt. You're going to then build straight up. And then you're going to build straight up. And then you're going to build straight up, and 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 up. And you're just going to keep going and keep going and keep going until you use about a stack. I think I use a little more than a stack, but once you do that, you're going to take a look around. You're going to scout out the area, see what you got. Here I see I have some pumpkins in the distance, pretty useless. Some sugarcane, which is awesome. You're definitely going to be using sugarcane, and way out in the distance over there I see lava, which is fantastic. You always want to find lava because that's how you make obsidian, that's how you get into the nether. You do all sorts of fun stuff with lava. Nothing like a lava waterfall to really set off that living room you just built. So, use the rest of your dirt, build it high as you can, and then you're going to want to get to one side of that dirt. Make sure you're nice and snug, and then, like you were building up, you go down. Down and down and down and down and down and down and down. So much downs. Down and down and down and down and down. It's a good thing I'm Iron Man, otherwise I'd probably be tired. So, now that you've done that, you've done a lot of hard work at this point. I think you deserve to fill up some of that hunger that you got going on there. Maybe snack on a few apples. You know, living the Minecraft life. Nothing but apples to eat at the moment because I refused to kill that pig earlier. But, since you've all finished everything you're doing, take a look at everything you've done. Enjoy it. This is akathecoot. Like and subscribe if you like. Everybody take care.